We're back with more Blue Exorcist. So we had a break in October and I didn't have any Blue Exorcist videos planned for that month, even with the Season 3 news for Blue Exorcist, which we're getting Season 3, I am very happy with. And I actually have a video on that that's probably going to be out before this review or after this review. Either way, I'll have like a link up top for you guys to take a look at my thoughts on Season 3 and its teaser trailer and how it'll play out. But I'm excited for Season 3 and this current chapter we got. Honestly, a pretty good setup chapter for essentially an oncoming war. Again, which honestly was much needed, because last chapter we basically got the layout of the enemy fortress. Now we're getting a reintroduction to the fortress plus an actual game plan for what we have set up for this entire siege on the enemy stronghold. So it makes sense that we basically spend a good chunk of this chapter setting things up for the initial attack that we're going to get into within the next couple of chapters and see how all of that goes. That, and I just like the fact that the last like 4 to 5 chapters have been nothing but character interactions and build up, which I love chapters like that. It doesn't feel like a waste of time. It feels like we get to know the characters even better, especially since like the main group haven't been all together in like a long time, in real world time, maybe like 3 years. If I'm counting correctly, my math is probably completely wrong, but in like 3-4 years we haven't had the entire cast all together, so it just feels nice having them all together and interacting. So it's just really good build up and setup, as we're gonna get to see them separate into different groups once again for this oncoming assault. But before I get into the video, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell for updates on future videos. It really helps and shows you guys enjoy the content I make here on the channel, and you guys want me to keep doing Blue Exorcist content. With the new season coming out, I'm actually planning a couple of Blue Exorcist videos off on the side when I get the chance in the lead up to the new season, as well as the new season is airing. Whether or not I'm going to end up reviewing the actual show when it comes out like I'm doing with Four the Apocalypse right now, I wouldn't get my hopes up, because that would be a lot on my plate to do, and I don't want to overextend myself when it comes to the stuff I want to do on the channel. But we'll see how this all plays out and how it goes. But with that out of the way, let's get right into the chapter. Blue Exorcist Chapter 145 of One Cloth Confrontation. The chapter starts with an establishing shot of the outer area of the barrier, keeping our main cast protected, as we see Shiemi getting ready from her guards in order to come out in her full equipment. We see everybody getting ready and coming together as it is now morning. And we see the barrier that is protecting them is starting to slowly weaken as they can feel the air from outside coming in. Lightning ends up asking everybody to come together as they can now get a game plan going. As we see that Lightning has created a miniature of the enemy fortress, labyrinth, and multiple gates and bridges all in tow. And this is all thanks to Sir Fellas helping them out, and I just like this off in the corner just sleeping kind of half dead. So Lightning begins this briefing with the objective of their goal, which is to destroy or seal away Satan's heart, which is in the very center of the stronghold. And it's not going to be easy, because magical flight, it basically results in death within 3 seconds, so they can't go over the walls with flying abilities. So that is out of the question. They'll get burned by flames. Next, they can't climb up the walls. Blue flames will end up erupting within 5 seconds, so they'll be burnt to a crisp with that. And apparently they can't use high-level demons to get inside, which is another problem for a lot of the Exorcists, because having high-level demons helps them a lot in fights. Next, they go over the labyrinth, which is inside. It's surrounded by walls that are over 500 meters tall, so it's going to be very hard to even scale those to begin with, or even look over them to see what they have in store. We also know the Illuminati is currently guarding the main entryway into the labyrinth, as well as the entryways onto the 3 bridges, so we know all their positions. So the main plan is to have 6 teams from A through F and split up, with Team A engaging at the large gate, while they have Team B try and unlock that gate at the very front in order to enter the labyrinth. Meanwhile, they have Teams C, D, and E take out the 3 bridges, and at the top of each bridge is a flame monument, which each team will try and destroy. If the destruction is successful, the shell in the very center will stop floating and end up falling close into the center, and that's when Team B will make their way through the labyrinth and arrive to destroy the shell. And when that happens, they have to either destroy or seal away Satan's heart. That's basically the strategy. And Lightning even goes on to say that this is kind of delusional, and it surely won't go as planned. He's got the Leonard Snart mentality of how plans are done.
There are only 4 rules you need to remember. Make the plan, execute the plan, expect the plan to go off the rails, throw away the plan.
But Lightning states that they're short on time and they kind of have to stake their hopes on this. Yukio then asks the question on if splitting up is really necessary. Why not just drop in on each of the bridges as they go along? That way they could all just go in right through the center all at once. But Lightning says that dropping in will count as flight, so it won't work and they'll get burned by flames. Lightning says something very interesting though, stating that the very existence of the labyrinth means Satan wants them to pass through it, saying that this is a game that Satan created and that they have to play by his rules. So it's highly possible that once he couldn't maintain his form anymore and he's began to merge with the area and just the whole world in general, Satan had a subconscious thought to just set up this whole game pitting against his forces against the Exorcist to see what would happen, considering that he basically loses his ego at the end. It's also kind of funny that this is basically set up like an RPG. Go through these different areas, take out these specific monuments so you can unlock the main final objective. Obviously things aren't going to be so simple, so it's just an interesting way to go about this, and I feel like it's a good plan to have regardless, so I'm curious to see how things are going to play out. Anyway, next up we have the groups being assigned. So Team A is going to be Shura, Eren Noah, Aojoa Kibiki, Yukio, Enrique Orts, and Osceola. So Yukio is in Team A, along with Shura and Osceola. So two really good powerhouses plus Yukio. It's a pretty well balanced team, and I have no idea who the other guys are. Moving on, we got Team B, which is the Grigori Guard, Shiemi, Amaimon, Igor Nias, Izumo, Mephisto, and Rin. And their objective is to solve the labyrinth and destroy the heart. Honestly, pretty good team as well. Obviously, we got Shiemi, the guards protect Shiemi, Amaimon, who's a powerhouse in and of himself, Rin, obviously, big powerhouse, and Izumo is a good summoner of familiars, same with Igor. And that's basically what their whole plan is, to have familiars to scout out and explore the labyrinth. But Rin is mainly to climb the walls of the labyrinth, since he has a resistance to blue flames and it's something only he can do to scout out the area and try and guide their teammates. Ren's not entirely sure what he means by this, but he'll give it a try. Until Yukio chimes in, stating that he wants to be on Ren's team as well, mainly because he doesn't really think that Ren will actually be able to guide everyone successfully through a labyrinth, and also because he actually might have resistance to blue flames, as apparently the Illuminati ran tests on him, and he is resistant to blue flames, as Lightning and Rin are also pretty shocked about this. Lightning getting all giddy, trying to ask him a bunch of questions to just analyze and experiment all this stuff due to his bad habits. But even Rin's like, you're acting way more surprised and louder than I am right now. After hearing this information, Lightning lets Yukio go on to Team B. But another reason why Yukio wanted to go on Ren's team, aside from helping them through the maze, is because he's kind of concerned about Rin. As a previous chapter, Rin seemed kind of out of it and Yukio noticed. So obviously he's concerned for his brother. We kind of skip over the assignment of Team C, and we now know that Team D is Beelzebub and Shima, and probably miscellaneous characters in the whole Exorcist group right now. So yeah, Shima's with the king of the bugs. So that's funny. Next up, Team E is Lightning and Bon. So obviously just two of them in this group, so they work well together. With the Blue Knight arc, they were a really good team. They're good at investigation, and they're pretty competent fighters, Lightning especially. So it's a pretty good team. It's a small team. I say it's fine. Then Konako and Kuro are kind of wondering what about them, since there is Team F that is still left. And Yukio brings it up. There's supposed to be 6 teams. What about Team F? And Osceola says that Team F is just Konako and Kuro. So yeah, it's just those two. But Lightning says this is an important job because they're essentially going to relay the effects of the weakening barrier on the front line, and they kind of want to go around the enemy stronghold's perimeter. So essentially it's like more or less recon and situational awareness and keeping up to date with the barrier. And this is something that only they could do right now, and it's an important job. So the two of them kind of take it. I mean, in all honesty, it's probably because like Konako is kind of the weakest character in the main group. Unfortunately, he's kind of the lowest on the power structure of the main group, and even amongst the Exorcist, he's not exactly notable in strength. So it makes sense having him be on like recon and everything. Kind of leaves him a bit safe. Plus, he's got Kuro with him to basically help protect him, if I'm being completely honest. And I think that's Lightning's goal with that, because he's the least combat oriented in the main group. But for all we know, he's got some latent potential that'll actually give him a big moment. Gado Sensei is probably going to give Konako and Kuro a really important fight in this arc, so I'm sure they'll get their chance to shine. With uncut to Izumo and Shiemi as they're meeting up, talking about how they're on the same team, and then Izumo goes on to apologize for how she talks to Shiemi the other day, essentially about her and Rin in a sense. But doubles down, says that she means what she says. And Shiemi says that she knows that she has to take care of it, and it's nice how much she cares for her. But she says that after giving some thought, she's not gonna tell Rin how she feels right now due to the circumstances of literally them fighting a freaking war right now, and it might mess with things. And she says that right now it's just enough for everybody just to be together. Izumo then just grabs Shiemi's face, squishing it, stating, "You think you're gonna die?" And I just like the reaction from Shiemi's guards as they're about to draw their blades on Izumo. And Shiemi just holding her hand up, making sure that they don't literally kill her friend right there. And then Izumo just says that she agrees with Rin, saying that Shiemi has to live and that she's not giving up. Shiemi then just spits in her face out of just not being able to breathe and just starts laughing as she says, "Well, it's my life, but you take it so seriously. Warms my heart to know that how sweet you actually are." And it's just nice having these characters having like nice actual grounded moments between friends before jumping into a war by the end of this chapter. And Shiemi says that if they make it back alive, she'll probably ask him on a date. And Izumo just sighs, saying, "Whatever, it's fine for now." And Yukio's noticing the two of them bickering over in the corner. And as he goes over to Rin, think about what he said last night. He goes over to Rin, to be a shoulder to actually talk about the stuff that he has on his mind, being a good brother. And Rin just says, "Alright, if you're willing to listen." And he says, "Look, I know this is probably going to be uncomfortable for you to hear, but you see how Shiemi's just basically avoiding me? Well, she rejected me when I told her I liked her." Remember, like earlier in the series, he got friend zoned really hard, and it was just the funniest thing I've seen ever. And apparently Yukio didn't even know this. And Rin just says, "After that, tried so hard to get it back to normal, but do you think she hates me?" And Yukio just very uninterested and is disappointed in the whole topic, being like, "How would I know? I really don't know. Figure it out for yourself," as he just walks away. As Rin's like, "Come on, man, you were being a good brother just now. Hear me out, man." As the rest of the guys are being like, "Man, you're very unthoughtful. It's your own fault. Kind of clueless." Because I think Yukio does have feelings for Shiemi too. I gotta reread a lot of their interactions in chapters, because I think that's what's going on here too. But this is just a weird conversation. I think just Yukio just disappointed in the fact that he thought he was going to get an actual heart-to-heart with his brother about the heavy stuff that it's on his mind, and then he just goes over to girl troubles, which that's not what he was expecting to hear. So he just walked away. It was kind of funny, a nice piece of levity. But anyway, everyone's gathering together, and they're gathering into their teams to move out. So everyone says their goodbyes and that they'll see each other later, and that they'll basically go out and have fun. Shima's basically like, "Come on, man, you can't promise stuff like that. They're just bad luck in the making." Yukio tells them to just go away, as he's basically in teacher mode right now. And everyone disperses and goes into their teams. And Yukio just says they're a reassuring bunch, as Rin agrees. The doorways for escape are done, closed, disappeared, so there is literally no path to retreat, and there's no turning back now. All that's left is to go out and face the enemy in this all-out war. And unfortunately, if Angel does recover, he's not really going to be able to get to the battlefield, so they're down one of their strongest soldiers, essentially. So that's one blow to them, but if they play their cards right, they'll still stand a chance, even with a lot less people on their team. Lightning gathers the forces, getting them riled up, asking them if they're ready, and that while they're just waiting around here, Satan's consuming the world and getting stronger, and that they're the only ones who can stop them, because they're exorcists. And he tells everybody to roll out, as everybody gets off in a nice 2-page spread at the end of the chapter. Everybody on these weird-looking comedic horses just charging towards an enemy demon stronghold, with the only cool one basically being Konako on top of Kuro. Ending the chapter with a nice 2-page spread of the landscape as everybody disperses into their teams, heading to the locations that they have to go to. And then ends the chapter. Honestly, again, setup chapter, character interactions, and setting things up. I'm cool with that. And we have another month until the next chapter. So I'm looking forward to this. I feel like the next chapter is going to be everybody getting to their destinations and taking on basically fodder characters until we get the Demon Kings and their lackeys, and everybody getting their own opponents. I feel like the Rin's group is going to have the easier time at the jump, while everyone else is going to be taking on like some of the tougher opponents. So I'm curious to see how this is going to go. And I just want to see all the Demon Kings actually have solo fights, because in the previous confrontation, they were kind of just letting their minions fight, and the only real one-on-one fight was Rin and Satan. So yeah, kind of looking forward to see how things play out. We're definitely going to get a couple of chapters with each group being spread out evenly, and it'd just be nice to see everybody fight once more now that most of them are recovered, and also we might actually get to see the Demon Kings actually fight. What do you guys think of this chapter? Leave your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. Now this chapter, what do you think is going to happen next? How long do you think this arc is going to be? And if you haven't already, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell for updates on future videos. Really helps and shows you guys enjoy the content I make here on the channel. I got more Blue Exorcist content basically lined up that I'm currently planning, so look forward to all that as well, and get hyped for the anime's return. With all that said and done, I hope you all have an awesome day.